By December, our feed turn into a highlight reel. Promotions, graduations, glow ups. But what I see not many people talk about is the in-between years. The years where you're quietly putting in the work, you're consistent and you're working hard. You're sort of seeing results, but you're not seeing the results that you're aiming for. You're not quite there yet. You're building in silence, consistently. You're showing up for yourself. And that's what the in-between years are. It's the years where you're quietly building, slowly healing, and trying things that don't always work, and becoming someone you fully haven't grown into yet. It's the years of becoming. Because the truth is, on the contrary to what you see on social media, your 20s are not constant years of climaxes. Not every single year is going to be a very exciting year. Some years are foundation, some years are character development. We've all been there. I know I have. And even in all of this, you're still doing more than you think. So today, I want to wrap up 2025 with you unfiltered. The progress I made, the things I failed at, the things that I did not hit on my vision board, and also the unexpected things that I did hit that weren't even on my vision board in the first place. This video is not like my usual videos. We're going to be hanging out together. It's a vlog style video, and I'm going to be going through the key elements I used to gauge where I'm at in my life. And it might be a great time for you as well to get your pen and paper out and figure out how you're feeling, where you're at. I've just finished up my morning Pilates class, and I want to try this new matcha place close to my Pilates, and maybe we can get some work done as well. I'll see what the vibe's like. Okay, so we're starting with health and fitness, and I've got my laptop over here if you guys see me looking over here. I actually want to start by saying that I don't use the same metrics that I did before when it comes to gauging where I'm at in my fitness journey. This is what I look like before, and this is what I look like now currently. This transformation has not been in a year. It's been over time through a healthy lifestyle and making healthier choices. I say this to make a point that the older version of me from a couple of years ago, would have looked at purely aesthetics and at purely the visual difference to gauge how well I'm doing in my fitness journey. But me currently, I don't only use how I look physically. I think the biggest change this year for me has been also tracking my sleep, brain health, heart health, also like how healthy I'm eating. Healthy as in like how colorful my plate looks with vegetables, how whole my foods are, not eating a lot of processed foods. These sorts of things I didn't really care much about before, but now I feel like I definitely approach health in a more holistic way, which I think has been such a good change. Now I want to talk about what didn't go super well this year and the things that I really had to push myself for. The first thing has to be the weather change, because I used to live in the UK and I moved back to Dubai this year, and it's quite hot here. I love horse riding. I'm a horse riding girly, and obviously that's an outdoor sport, and so I definitely had to get used to the weather and riding in the heat. Not only that, I also had some lessons which literally used to end in tears because I was so frustrated with myself because I just couldn't even get the horses trotting at one point. You might be thinking, why? Why couldn't you? Different horses respond differently to different riders, and there were some horses that I had this year that really tested me, and there was also a point where I couldn't get my canter transitions either. And if you're watching this thinking, what are you talking about? To keep it simple, trotting is the human equivalent of jogging, and canter is when you get the horse to running. So jogging and running, look at it that way. Only recently, in like the last month of 2025, was I able to perfect my canter transition. So that's been the biggest win this year, but it definitely had a very rocky start.
Oh my god! Yes! Amazing! I did it!
Okay guys, it's actually getting quite hot here, so I'm not gonna wear my cardigan right now. I want to talk about the second thing that didn't go super well this year, which was it didn't go perfectly, shall I say, which was my 75 medium challenge. It's basically this challenge that you do where you set yourself a set of rules that you have to follow for 75 days straight. And if you miss a day, or if you didn't have a perfect day where you follow all your rules, you just get back on track and you try again. Whereas with 75 hard, you have to start from day one all over again, which honestly I felt like was going to be really bad for me in the long run, because it literally would have made me hated fitness and healthy living and all that kind of stuff. So I opted for a 75 medium, and there was a time in my 75 medium challenge where I had to pause it for 10 days because I'd gone traveling, and so when I came back I continued it. So it wasn't perfect, but I still did all my 75 days. This year my goal was just to be consistent. That was like my main goal, which I accomplished. To start, I need to first say I was that person that really struggled with doom scrolling first thing in the morning and also last thing before going to bed. And honestly, you guys, that really impacted my mental health, how I would feel during the day, overly stimulated. It just was a habit that I just could not let go of for like a long time. And now I can happily and proudly say I don't do that anymore. And that's definitely been my biggest win this year. But the majority of the year, I was that girl who would always doom scroll. Hey girls, so currently I'm editing the video you're watching right now, and I just want to hop on here and say that if you feel like there's a part of this video that will benefit your bestie, your girly pop, or someone in your family, make sure to share it with them. And also, if you aren't subscribed already, I would love for you to support my channel. And back to the video. The other thing is journaling. I've been a journaling girl literally since I was a kid. I've had so many journals. I've had my Dear Diary phase. I've had my the 3 things I'm grateful for phase. I've had all the phases. This year I've been really consistent with journaling. I remember last year I fell off. I wasn't doing it as much, but this year I definitely got back into it. And I've also discovered some new ways or new methods of journaling that I really have been enjoying. And I'm gonna have a whole separate video in the new year about how to journal and the different ways to journal. And one of my favorite ways of journaling has definitely been, I mean, obviously gratitude journaling and also best case scenario journaling. It's basically when you wake up in the morning and then you write down your day's best case scenario and you write it down as if the day is already done and you're reflecting on it. That has been something that I've been really enjoying. It's been really helpful as well. Okay, and now let's talk about one of my favorite elements, which is romanticizing life, just making life a bit more joyful. I will start with something that I didn't do super well this year, and I kind of know why. So I have had this habit of buying myself flowers for the longest time, and I formed this habit back when I used to live in London because I did my own grocery shopping there, so it was just easier to pick up myself some flowers whenever I did my grocery shop. And now that I live at home, I don't do my own grocery shop, so that habit has kind of gone. I didn't buy myself flowers as frequently as I used to before, but I did like, you know, buy myself my birthday flowers, but I sort of like fell off the habit of just buying it for myself whenever. And there are also many other reasons for that too. I found that the flowers here in this country don't last as long as the ones back in the UK. I remember I would buy flowers there and they would last for like 10 to 15 days and like they would look good, but over here maximum 4 or 5 days and then they start wilting. So I think that was one of the reasons that was putting me off. But I feel like what I want to take into the new year is to bring that habit back and find a way to get these flowers to last. But other than that, I definitely did spend a good amount of solo time this year. I used to take myself to cafes all the time. I mean, granted, it was for more work-related stuff, but it was definitely time alone regardless. But I still feel like I could have taken myself out more solo without that element of working, just, you know, take myself out to a cafe, just, you know, reading a book. I feel like I didn't really do much of that this year because I was also really busy this year with working on so many things. But other than that, I feel like I've definitely been romanticizing my life in other ways. I mean, for example, I recently bought this laptop case from Heaven Mayhem, and by the way guys, they have such gorgeous cases. All their laptop cases are so cute, and I recently bought myself one. Every time I look at my laptop now, I'm like, you know, it's just so cute. Also, I recently was out with my mom and we were at this furniture store and I bought myself this really cute classy teacup, and I cannot wait to have my evening peppermint tea in that. Like, that's just another element that just, you know, adds a bit of flair, adds a bit of like, you know, whimsy to your life. And I also bought this new fake flower bouquet thing. I might have not bought as many flowers, I mean fresh flowers for myself this year, but I definitely ended on a good note by buying one that will never die. And now let's talk about the things that did not go so well on my vision board and the unexpected things that did. So there are definitely things that I did not achieve in this year's vision board, but there are definitely things that I also did. So the first thing I put was 50,000 YouTube subscribers. Granted, we're not there yet, but we still grew this channel by, I think, 4,000 subscribers, which is not the most, but it's also not the least. One thing I really learned this year was to not put timelines to my goals. goals. Like that's something I've been doing for a long time unconsciously, and I feel like moving forward in the new year, my goals are going to be more free-flowing, you can say. Like they're not going to be strict deadlines to it, because it's crazy, like I'm going off on a tangent, but I found some of my old vision boards that I'd made 2 or 3 years ago, and so many of those things have come true. Like I found this postcard that I made that I wanted to hit 5,000 subscribers, and I did. And I found this other old vision board that I made. It was literally like a cake that had 10k on it, and I hit 10k subs, and I had a cake that looked similar to it. And I also had this vision board in which I had this piece of merchandise, like it was like a hoodie and some text written on it. I just put a hoodie because I just didn't know what I wanted it to be just yet, but I just knew that I wanted to have a piece of clothing that, you know, that I made. And I literally launched Jhumka Baby earlier this year. I mean, actually 2 months ago, which is insane. On that vision board as well, I had it written that I want to make South Asian girlies around the world feel proud of themselves and, you know, happy with who they are. And I generally get so many of those comments all the time, and it's honestly crazy how the things I wrote on my vision board 2 years ago are coming true only now. Anyways, going back to the point I was making, I mean, I no longer will attach strict timelines to my goals. That was something I was doing that went strongly against the law of detachment, and that's definitely something I'm taking into the new year. And I do have a video coming out soon about vision boards, and I'm really excited about that. We'll talk more about that in that video, but back to the vision board for this year. I've got a picture of reformer Pilates in there, and guys, I fully slayed that goal. I was so consistent with my Pilates this year. I mean, I grew deeply in love with it this year. And I've also got a picture of horse riding in there, and that was a goal to, you know, get really good at riding here in the heat. And I feel like I definitely achieved that goal because I'm now able to canter in this heat. And the things that I did not achieve were things like my 50k subs and my trip to Rajasthan. I mean, I still went to India this year. I went to Lucknow and I explored new places in India. So I didn't achieve this goal specifically, but the main goal was to explore India, more of it, which I definitely did. And I still want to go to Rajasthan, and it'll just be pushed to the next vision board. And then you guys can see over here that I've got like handbags, 2 Miu Miu handbags. So the goal was to hit 50k subs and then buy myself a Miu Miu handbag, and so that did not come true this year. However, I think I'm going to be slightly tweaking that goal in the new year. So I feel like the bag that I want to buy now is going to be slightly different, but you will see that in the next video when I talk about my new vision board. And then I also have an engaged audience written down there, and I do feel like I did achieve that goal. I have never shown any of you guys this before, but I actually do have like this page just dedicated to some of my favorite comments that I received from you guys, and this here is genuinely a testament to how much we've grown the community. Like the things you guys say, like for example, at Maru-chan G5J, you are my inspiration. I love you so much. As a Japanese Daisy, you make me feel seen and more confident. Girl, I love you. I could go on and on about this section, but I always come back to this page just, you know, go through some of my favorite comments because you guys, I love you guys so much. Like I genuinely do. And the things that I did not put on my vision board that I still achieved this year that have been amazing has been 2 press mentions, one of them being the Washington Post. So they interviewed me for an article about the appropriation of South Asian couture, which was honestly incredible. I cannot believe that happened, but that did. And then I also was featured in another article, and then I got my driver's license in the first attempt, which was honestly crazy. That was a silent goal in the back of my head that I never really told out loud to anyone, but I would always like envision myself getting it in the first attempt, and that actually happened this year, which is honestly incredible. And I also invested a lot into my camera and my equipment this year, and the biggest one has to be launching my own product. I mean, if you told January me that I was gonna launch a business this year, she would have been like, really? Like, okay. It's crazy because this idea literally came to me when I was on a trip with my bestie in Lisbon back in, was it May? I told her, you know what, I think I'm actually gonna do it. And then I actually did end up doing it. And now it's live. And now you can actually purchase the Jhumka Baby t-shirt. And the last few things that have happened this year that have been amazing. I can't exactly share the entirety of it because some of it is still being worked on in the background. But some of the brands that have reached out to me this year, some of the brands that I got to work with this year has been honestly phenomenal. Like I received my first piece of luxury PR as well this year, which honestly, if I told 18-year-old version of me that I would be receiving PR from some luxury brands, she would literally be screaming. And I also want to say that the thing about vision boards is that it's not the end of the world if you don't achieve anything on it. If the goal still aligns, you can just put it on to your next vision board, and that's not an issue. And that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm basically going to transfer things from this that I still want to work on onto the next vision board. It's not a big deal if you haven't achieved every single thing on your vision board this year. I mean, you can still achieve it next year. you're not time bound, you know, your goals aren't assignments like they are in school. There's no expiry date. You can still achieve them even in the new year. All right guys, and that was everything for today's video. That was us wrapping up 2025. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you aren't already. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You were gone.